Welcome to NFL Nexus. So picture this. Just one season ago, your team was sitting on top of the world. I mean, you're the #1 seed in the AFC, your quarterback is in the MVP conversation, you're thinking Super Bowl, right? Now, flash forward just a few months and everything's changed. The conversation isn't about championship parades anymore, it's a full-blown financial crisis. It's not about who you can sign, but which of your star players you have to let go. And folks, this isn't some made-up story, it's the cold, hard reality for the Indianapolis Colts. Today, we're going to break down exactly how a top contender ended up in this huge mess.
All right, let's dive in. Here's the game plan for how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get right to the heart of the matter, the Colts salary cap nightmare. Then we'll look at the first, pretty painful solution they're exploring, trading away Zaire Franklin. And we'll analyze the 4 teams that are probably blowing up their phone right now. After that, we're going to talk about a rising star they developed, but now probably can't afford. And to wrap it all up, we'll connect all these pieces to really understand the massive gamble the Colts front office is taking.
So, yeah, how in the world do we even get here? How does a team that looked like a legitimate title threat one minute find itself basically having to hold a fire sale the next? Well, it all comes down to this brutal reality of the NFL, a force that brings even the best teams to their knees and forces them to make some really tough choices.
I mean, the turnaround has just been whiplash-inducing. In 2025, the Colts were flying high. They had the #1 seed in the AFC, and their quarterback Daniel Jones was playing like a true MVP. They looked like the real deal. But then, disaster. Jones goes down with a season-ending injury, and just like that, the Colts season completely falls apart, and they don't even make the playoffs. And that shock on the field has been followed by an even bigger mess off the field.
You know, to really get what's happening here, you have to understand the main villain of this story, the NFL salary cap. It's not a suggestion, it's not a guideline, it is a hard, unforgiving ceiling on how much teams can spend. Every single dollar counts, and there are no loopholes. The whole system is designed to keep the league competitive, but it also means that even the most successful teams have to make these gut-wrenching, sometimes franchise-changing decisions. You just can't pay everybody, no matter how badly you want to.
And right here, this number is the smoking gun. -$4.7 million. This is the entire problem in a nutshell. As we speak, the Colts are over the salary cap. Now, that's not just a little accounting oopsie. In the NFL, that's literally illegal. They are required by league rule to get under that cap before the new league year starts. So every single thing they do from this moment on is about making this big, red, negative number turn positive.
So, with that big negative number hanging over their heads, the Colts have to make some painful cuts to get some breathing room, and they have to do it fast. It looks like the first domino to fall is going to be one of their best defensive players, a team captain, a guy they're now being forced to shop around, linebacker Zaire Franklin.
And look, this isn't just a rumor. This is a direct report from ESPN's Adam Schefter, one of the most plugged-in guys in the business. And his quote makes 2 things perfectly clear. Number 1, these trade talks are happening, and they're happening right now. And number 2, the reason why is spelled out for us as they look to get under the salary cap. This isn't a football decision. They're not getting rid of him because they think he's washed up. This is a pure and simple money move, all because of that negative number we just saw.
And this right here is what makes trading for him so tricky. It's a real paradox. On one hand, you're talking about a guy who, just 2 seasons ago, led the entire NFL in tackles. That is an insane level of production. But, on the other hand, the chatter is that he comes off his worst season to date. So what do you do with that? It creates this fascinating dilemma. Are you trading for the tackling machine from 2024, or are you getting a player on the decline? Any team trying to make a deal is going to be weighing that very question, and it could really affect what the Colts get back in a trade.
And this is why, purely from a money perspective, this trade is a no-brainer for the Colts. $5.755 million. That's how much cap space for 2026 the Colts would immediately clear by trading him. Remember that deficit? A little over $4.7 million? Well, this one move completely solves their media problem. It takes them out of the red and puts them into the black. It makes them legal again in the eyes of the NFL. And that is exactly why this is being explored so seriously.
So, okay, we've got a former Pro Bowl linebacker on the market for reasons that have nothing to do with his talent. The next question is obvious. Who's picking up the phone? Well, there are 4 teams that just make a ton of sense, each with a big hole on their roster that Zaire Franklin could fill immediately.
First up, the New York Jets. Look, they are in total win-now mode with Aaron Rodgers. Their championship window is right now, and their defense is the heart and soul of that team.
But that heart could have a hole in it if their star linebacker Quincy Williams walks in free agency. And with Jamien Sherwood struggling, they really can't afford a weak link in the middle of that elite defense. Franklin isn't just a replacement. He's a veteran you can plug right in on day one who brings that leadership and tackling you need to keep that defense from missing a beat. Next, how about a division rival, the Buffalo Bills? Now this would be an interesting chess move. The Bills might be losing Matt Milano, and for them, he's not just another linebacker. He is the quarterback of their defense. Losing that guy would be a massive blow, especially in an AFC that's just a total arms race. They would be desperate for a player with Franklin's experience to come in and steady the ship. For the Bills, this isn't just about filling a spot. It's about staying in that top tier of contenders. Okay, let's head out west to the Denver Broncos, who are looking at a potential linebacker apocalypse. I mean, they could lose both Justin Stroud and Alex Singleton to free agency. That would basically wipe out their entire depth chart at the position. We all know Sean Payton is trying to build a tough, disciplined team, and a giant hole in the middle of the defense is the absolute last thing he wants. Bringing in a proven tackler like Franklin would be a huge stabilizing move to stop that from happening.
And finally, we've got the team that might have the biggest need of all, the Las Vegas Raiders. Their situation is, well, it's pretty dire. They have count 'em, four linebackers about to become free agents, including their starters Devin White and Elandon Roberts. Their new coach, Antonio Pierce, was a Pro Bowl linebacker himself. He wants to build a tough defensive identity, and you just can't do that with an empty linebacker room. Franklin would be the perfect guy to build around, a veteran anchor for Pierce's new defense.
Hey, before we get to the next piece of this whole puzzle, just a quick note. We really love making these deep dives for you guys, and if you're getting something out of them, a really fantastic way to support what we do here is to check out our new coloring books. They're perfect for fans of any age, your kids, your grandkids, even for yourself. You can grab one by using the link in the description or just by scanning the QR code on your screen. Your support seriously helps us keep making this content, so thank you. All right, so trading Zaire Franklin fixes the immediate cap problem, right? But the fallout from the Colts' money troubles doesn't stop there. Now we've got to look at a different and maybe even more painful type of cap casualty, the homegrown guy. The player you drafted, you developed into a star, and now you probably have to just sit back and watch him walk out the door for nothing. Let's talk about safety Nick Cross.
So, in his first couple of seasons, Cross was basically a role player. I mean, he was out there, he played in 33 games, but his numbers were pretty modest. You see 56 tackles, 1 interception. These are the stats of a solid young player who's still figuring things out, you know? Adjusting to the speed of the NFL, he was a good contributor, but he wasn't exactly a game changer just yet. But then, man, something just clicked. Over the next 2 seasons, in about the same number of games, Nick Cross didn't just get a little better, he completely transformed. The jump here is just wild. His tackles went up by almost 5 times, from 56 to 266. He went from 1 tackle for loss to 11. He quadrupled his interceptions, and he started making plays everywhere, getting sacks, forcing fumbles. This is the story of a player hitting his absolute prime and becoming a legit weapon on defense.
But here's the painful irony of that breakout performance. By playing so well, Nick Cross earned himself a huge payday. He's a free agent now, and the projections say he's going to get a contract somewhere in the range of $6 to $11 million a year. And for a lot of teams, that's a great price for a young safety who's getting better and better. But for the Colts, who are trading guys just to get back to zero, that price tag is almost certainly way too high.
Okay, so let's zoom out and look at the big picture here. The Zaire Franklin trade talks, and the fact that Nick Cross is probably going to leave, these aren't just 2 random moves happening in a vacuum. They are the tough, but intentional, results of a much larger, very deliberate, and extremely high-stakes strategy from the Colts front office.
Here's exactly how the dominoes fell. It all started with them pouring money into the offense. First, they used the transition tag on their quarterback, Daniel Jones, which is a big 1-year contract to keep him from hitting the market. Then they prioritized a huge new deal for their receiver, Alec Pierce. Those 2 giant checks created the cap problem, and that problem is forcing them to shop Zaire Franklin. And that same lack of cash is why they're going to have to just watch a guy they developed, Nick Cross, sign with another team. It's all connected, one step leading to the next.
And this all boils down to the single biggest question at the heart of the Colts offseason gamble. The front office has made a very clear choice. They are betting everything on their offense. They believe that if they keep Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce together, they can just outscore everybody, even if their defense gets a lot weaker by losing guys like Franklin and Cross. So, is it smart? Are they right to sacrifice proven defensive studs to keep their offense together? It's that classic offense versus defense debate. And right now, the Colts are pushing all their chips to one side of the table.
But hey, that's our take on the strategy. Now we really want to hear from you. If you were the GM of the Colts, would you be making this same bet? Or do you think letting 2 key defensive starters go is a massive mistake that's going to come back to bite them next season? Jump into the comments below and let us know what you think. We read them all, and we're really curious to see where you all land on this.
And that's our look at the Colts' incredibly costly offseason. We hope this helped make sense of the really tough decisions this franchise is up against. If you found this useful, do us a huge favor and smash that like button. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to NFL Nexus so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks so much for watching.